Hey everybody, welcome back to the Toy Duo team, where we're going to be talking about action figure reveals. Legion's Con is this week. We're going to be talking about the toy conversation you didn't know you needed. But first, roll the intro.
I feel the need for speed.
Toys, manly
toys. And TV and movies too.
I like how it's a toy. We're mostly a toy channel, and the intro is all the stuff that we wish we got a lot of toys for, but didn't.
We did. We got this Indiana Jones things.
Oh,
right
sure
there.
we did.
Don't we have a HasLab Back to the Future going?
Now when
Top
we were
Gun
kids.
toy. I don't remember Top Gun toys when I was a kid.
Yeah,
there's.
when we were kids.
I got Maverick right here.
Yeah, now, but now
Maybe there was a Matchbox airplane or something.
Anyways, welcome. Oh, gee whiz. Welcome to the Toy Duo team. We got your host. I'm John Man. Can you tell us what that's a reference to? Because you lost me.
Because normally
Iron
he's
Man?
Batman. He's Batman.
Or
I'm
Batman.
Batman.
Because it's 89, episode 89. So it's episode 89. So that means we're going to do a brief history of 1989 and talk about some of the movies that came out in 1989 and some of the toys and stuff like that. And then you got Captain America, which I understand is a play on the new popcorn bucket that we'll show you in the Hot or Not section.
Did you see the Grimlock popcorn bucket?
No, I didn't. Did you send me the
Transformer Grimlock one that's freaking awesome?
Did you send me the photo of that?
No, probably not.
Did you put those photos of all the toys that you wanted to talk about from 1989? Did you send those?
Oh, sure I did. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, anyway. So we got Sir Eric, who's your daddy? That's a total play on words. And anyways, so here we something happened with the Hoosiers?
They're about to play Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So anyways, let's go back to this. We got our qualifier here, which we need again this week. I'm just kidding.
Yep.
And we like to start our show with a little bit of bragging. Does anybody have anything that they want to show off?
Did I get any
takers?
I have a new I haven't opened it yet, but I have a Dungeons and Dragons minifigure to open.
Oh, cool! I didn't know they were doing D&D.
Blind box.
Yeah.
This isn't an opening session.
That's it. I'm not going to open it.
You're not going to open it? All right.
No, I just wanted to show you I have it. It'll be on a video coming soon.
All right.
What if it's like a Scooby-Doo inside it?
That would be awesome. Yeah.
All right.
I have nothing to show off unless you want to look at.
Don't show Hammerhead again.
This is beautiful.
Is that the Stan Solo?
No, this is actually good. No, this is a
that's
quality
awful,
custom by Bantha Skull. What's his name?
All right.
I like
Hammerhead
over your shoulder. The Black Series one. Give him a little high five.
Yeah, he's always trying to show that thing off.
Yeah.
What about you, Eric? You got anything you want to show off this week?
Yep.
Oh,
this
mine's
came in
here
yesterday.
too. Yeah, actually, I did get that too. It's right over there.
Yeah.
Does that come with a pilot or just the droid?
No, it comes with a droid.
So that's not the ship that Carson Teva flies, though. So how was that?
That's female pilot.
How was that a match? How is that a match? Because Carson Teva's been on like all of the new shows. So
I don't know.
That girl was in one
would have
episode.
made his ship.
Well, I mean, his ship's just like an X-wing, right?
Yeah.
No.
How many series has this pilot that's going to fly that ship been in?
One, and she maybe has like a handful of lines. Like
how many episodes?
One or two, maybe. One or two tops. Yeah.
But we don't have the pilot.
She's on pre-order. Captain Callahan. Yeah.
We got
it is weird though. Like I understand to try and keep the price down of the vehicle and whatnot to not include the figure, but for like a really niche character, it seems like they should have just bundled the figure with it.
I agree with you.
For 10 more bucks.
You know what I would have done? I would have bundled the figure and then sold the droid separately because more people are after that. Would have
absolutely that droid would be a top seller.
Yeah.
Agree. But they're probably thinking, oh, if we just package the droid, then people who want the droid will have to buy the ship.
Yeah.
That's another way of looking at it too, and it might have worked that way.
Yeah. But But in my weekly complaining of Hasbro, I don't understand why they would make a ship and a figure of a character who's been in like basically one episode of one of the series, but they still haven't made even a figure of somebody who's been in multiple episodes of multiple series and has multiple different like wardrobe changes, because they could have easily done
That's
three
right.
different figures.
The bomber jacket, the flight suit,
the dress,
the formal attire from the courtroom scene. Yeah, the tribunal.
I would bet you all we get his action figure revealed in the next 72 hours.
Why? What do you know that we don't?
I know a lot of things you guys don't know, apparently, but no, I don't know. I have no
wow,
inside.
that's pretty rude.
I have no inside. Well, just like how Hasbro makes those.
That's
Disney
very
products.
arrogant of you.
But it seems like, but I've been on record here tons of times saying like, oh, Hasbro's silly if they don't get Paul himself to join one of their streams to promote the product. And he's gone on record, I think, recently on Katie Sackhoff's
he was on her
YouTube,
podcast,
kind of like talking about that too. It's something's weird there, and I don't get it. Yeah.
All right, so my only show off this week came from Ross. It's a $3.99 Aliens figure. I think it's pretty cool. I was kind of hoping that maybe some of the other characters would show up, but I guess this guy's been around kind of a while, right? So who knows? We'll see.
I wonder if those came from Entertainment Earth.
I don't know. It's got like some sort of a, I don't know what this. Oh, that's the Colonial. Anyways. I thought that was pretty cool to be able to pick that up for $3.99. I still got to run back and see if there's that other one I left behind is there. But let's say hello to some people in the chat, because we wouldn't be able to do a live stream if nobody tuned in and watched what we were doing. So let's say hi to Dave's Dimension, who's saying, hello, guys. You got David R. is here. Sir Eric Brown is not the Hoosier Daddy, but the regular Sir Eric Brown. We got Ricardo is saying, hey to everyone on the panel. And then he's also saying hello to everyone in the chat. Gary from Gary's Grills is saying greetings and solicitations? Salutations? Oh, solicitations. Is that different? Does anybody understand how the English works when you say greetings and solicitations or greetings and salutations?
There you go.
Do you know what differences between like the
could have been autocorrect?
Oh, could be. Let's see. Jonathan Redmond is saying, evening all. We should be back on the correct time after the time change last week. So hopefully we're not early or late for you. He's saying Pit Droid Lady still not got a figure either. This is true. She should also have a figure. Matt from Zero Toy Hunters. Oh, this is Matt, right? He's saying, that's why I have stopped collecting Hasbro. Now it's Joy Toy.
Nice.
Ricardo is saying that's the way they did it in Rogue One X-Wing. Oh, that's the way they did it with the Rogue One X-Wing fighter. It came with the pilot, and the droid was sold separately. Yep.
Yeah, General Merrick.
Now, those two ships, which do you think was a better seller, that blue X-Wing or this new?
Probably, if I were willing to bet, I'd say the E-Wing, because it's brand
different.
new sculpt.
First time made,
the General Merrick's Blue Squadron X-Wing is just a repaint.
Dino from Geek Strong is saying, hey, he's probably mowing the lawn right now or out doing grocery hunting or something like that. He's whatever his excuse is for not showing up and being.
I like that grocery hunting.
He's
so just hunting.
Did you guys see his Spirit Halloween video? I honestly thought he tripped.
Where he tripped and fell? Yeah.
He said he did not
the ball. Of course he tries to say that, but no, he tripped and fell. He got excited. Right? He got excited because he thought someone was going to take his proton back. So he started running and he tripped and fell. And he doesn't want to admit it to anybody.
And I'm just like trying to picture, okay, I would like to get the security camera video from the Spirit store so we can get the actual. We have to call and get the security footage to do an investigation here.
That's why he's got those bruises on his arm then.
Yeah, exactly.
He's lucky he didn't break his wrist. Can you imagine like having that injury? Let's see. Prophet is here joining us. I'm sure Teva is not getting a figure is a Lucasfilm issue, not Hasbro.
There's no issue.
Mr. B has said, hello there, Vern, John, Rick, and Eric. And I don't know what this emoji is. Oh, it's a salute. Okay, I get it. And Gary is saying it was not a typo. He knew what he was typing.
Okay.
Yeah, he wants to sell us stuff.
Have you ever heard of our Lord Jesus Christ?
All right, and then let's see. Mr. B is saying hello. Okay. All right. And then there's a lot of hellos going on. But I think the most important thing was Gary telling us that he was absolutely sure what he was typing, and we were wrong once again.
I was wrong, at least. No.
All right, let's see. So let's move on and do this. Okay, so if first time you watch the show or first time you're listening, what we've been doing is as we travel through our 80s episodes, we've been doing kind of a brief history of the year. So since this is episode 89, we got a little brief history of 1989 that you didn't know you needed. And since the hosts have known what we've been doing since the beginning of the 80s,
well,
and we'll
some of us
continue in the 90s.
Yes.
John last week goes, are we going to show off like toys and stuff like that may have come out that year? And I'm like, yeah, in every episode we've done that.
But to be fair, a lot of us weren't buying toys in '89. Like, I know I wasn't, but
all right, what do you guys remember history-wise as a significant event of 1989?
Batman came out.
Mr. Vern, roll down tear down the next segment. Yeah. Sorry, that was bad. The Berlin Wall.
Oh, okay, good. Eric,
didn't David Hasselhoff play a concert
in Germany?
I don't know about David Hasselhoff, but anyways, these are some of the things that happened in 1989. I got a picture of this McDonald's in the USSR. It didn't open until
it 1990. Looks really sad.
Yeah, let's see. It didn't open until January of 1990.
Bootleg Goofy.
But the restaurant began its construction in 1989. That's why it's on there.
Do you think they finished it yet?
What? Yeah, it's done. It opened in 1990.
Well, it's not open anymore, though.
I don't think they have McDonald's in Russia now.
So in 1989, you also had the Tiananmen Square protests that were continuous throughout the year. But in June is when you get this infamous picture of what they call the Tank Man, the guy standing in front of the column of military tanks. And then, of course, what like Eric said, November 9th, you had the fall of the Berlin Wall. Now, you had stuff leading up to it, right? But basically, like, I guess they made an accidental announcement on a live broadcast that said that they were going to start allowing travel from East Germany to West Germany immediately. And so then all of the checkpoints kind of opened up and stuff like that. And then the wall just started to come down. And then there's a picture of The Simpsons because The Simpsons used to be a short, but in 1989, it premiered its first full-length episode on Fox.
It was
they looked a bit different than
show.
There.
Yeah.
They
put that Straight Outta Compton on there because even though that album dropped the year before, in 1989, that album went platinum and sold 1 million copies.
Yeah, The Simpsons looked weird when they were on the Tracy Ullman show.
So let's see if anybody in the chat had any of their history from 1989. Let's see. Bender Rodriguez saying, "What's up, everybody?" Let's see. Well, they weren't. They were United Soviet Socialists, and they wanted McDonald's. You know what? There were a lot of restaurants that started popping up. They were listed as Cold War stuff in 1989 that they were opening up. Let's see. In-N-Out burgers are way better. I don't
know why there's like a pirate and is that like Fozzie Bear with his hat off, and then there's like a really sad and depressed Goofy there.
Yeah, it's
I mean, he looks really
Goofy.
bad.
You got to remember that this picture was probably taken in 1989 with a film camera and was probably improperly developed as well.
And then we have and
has faded before it was scanned and put up on the internet when the internet was announced. But you know what's interesting, and I didn't know how to grab a picture of this. In June of 1989, Japan started broadcasting the world's first high-definition television broadcast in tests
Really?
on a regular basis. It was before that, but that was the first regular high-definition broadcasting, but they were doing it over analog at the time. That's 1989.
Huh.
So,
Yeah, Japan was always ahead of technology, though.
yeah. Let's see.
Oh my God!
High def didn't become like commercialized until what, like 2000?
Yeah, much later.
2007. I was in college when it.
Yeah.
I typed in 1989 in Google. Every single one of my results is a picture of Taylor Swift.
Oh, because of the album?
Yeah, but every single one. Like, I've been scrolling for like 30 seconds.
Well,
that's weird, man.
Yeah, that is pretty creepy.
So I'm gonna not do that no more. That's
all right. Anyways,
I got goosebumps from that. That's
speaking
weird.
of 1989, Batman 89. That's when that movie came out. So we got these really cool action figures at the time.
Yeah, I have all of them.
You have that Batwing?
No, I have all the action figures.
Oh, you don't? Do you have the play sets?
No, I don't have the playset or the Batwing. I have the Batmobile, but I only collect.
Have that Batmobile?
Yes, I have that Batmobile.
Wow.
I only collect Batmobiles from DC.
So
but I do have
Toy Biz, right? Before Kenner took over.
It is correct.
I do have the entire that entire DC line.
Wow,
it was cool.
Now, the other thing that it looked like came out was something called PVC figures. They were these little plastic,
they look like
non-posable figures and stuff like that. They had both DC and Marvel versions, but I didn't take a picture of them.
Neat.
Let's see. Hold on. It reminds me of the Simpsons, Krusty the Clown, Soviet workers and parasites. In 1989, we just had normal def. All right.
Yeah, well,
and then
Japan was always so far ahead of us, though.
Yeah.
I went to Japan in 2006, and I don't care what Steve Jobs and Apple wants to try and tell you, but they did not invent the phone, the smartphone, because we were in Japan. We were in Japan in 2006, and I was going, "Holy crap! Their phones are like computers." I was like, I had no idea that stuff like this even existed, and everyone was using them. My friend who lived over there made a joke. He's like, "Yeah, their phones over here have everything, including a little cartoon animal that jumps out of the phone and cleans your apartment for you." And then I came back to America, and I was showing photos. I was trying to show people photographs of their phones that they had in Japan, and everybody was like, "What the hell are those? Like, those aren't phones. Like, what are you talking about?" I couldn't describe it. I was trying to describe what they did, and then like 2 years later, in 2008, the smartphone came out.
That you tell the story because you know that they have this thing called the smart car or whatever. It's like a little 2-seater.
Yeah.
It's that little scrunchy car came to the States maybe like 8-9 years ago.
Car. Yeah. That
in Europe, that car supposedly gets like 80 something miles a gallon. But when it got to the States, it was basically like 45 miles per gallon because of
they wanted to screw us
or something like that. So they
just wanted to screw us.
So they had to tune it down or something like that. So it's interesting how they bring stuff, but it's always a little bit different. Anyways, G4 joined us. He's saying hello. Let's move on to the movies that came out in 1989. You got Back to the Future 2, Uncle Buck, The Roadhouse, Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade, Ghostbusters 2, Dead Poet Society, Batman, and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
All classics.
So
I never saw Roadhouse.
The future.
What?
I saw every movie except for Roadhouse, because if you saw Roadhouse, you were not like human. You weren't really a guy back in that damn time.
It was a
What are you talking about? That was a really cool movie, dude.
No.
With Sam Elliott and everybody in there. That was a really cool movie.
That was a chick flick.
No, it wasn't.
You didn't go.
Because of all
the
fighting, the mixed martial arts style of fake fighting that they were doing and stuff like that.
Ghost was more of the chick movie, John.
When we were that age, in '89, I remember anyone who went to saw it got made fun of and beat up at school.
Wow,
so no one went to see Roadhouse.
You know why they got beat up? Because it was a fight movie.
The reason why that people felt that way was because he was coming off of probably Dirty Dancing.
I saw people fighting outside the movie theater after that one, just because
that was a really
movie.
good movie. Let's see.
It is probably my least favorite out of the lot that's on the screen right now.
So that's it. Does anybody else have any like movies that they wanted to mention from 1989 that you just want to pull out of your pocket? This is just a quick, like I did a sort on IMDb and just pulled them up. But
which of these do you think any of these was the top grossing movie of '89?
I don't know.
Batman.
You can look that up and let us know.
I think it's Indiana Jones.
I think it was
You think
Batman.
it was? I think it was Back to the Future too.
I think it was Batman.
Actually, I think it was Chariots of Fire or something like that.
Cocoon.
Was it Cocoon?
Cocoon.
I don't
came
know.
out
I
this year?
looked this up this morning, and then
Who can do a line from one of these movies besides "I'm Batman"?
Great Scott!
I have to take my back pill. I need to eat so I can take my back pill.
Oh, then that
Clark!
guy's like, "Who are you?" And then John says, "I'm John, man."
I'm John, man.
Who are you gonna call? Come on.
Oh, you can say the beep is full
Yep.
from Christmas Vacation.
He's dumping it into the.
Classic movie, man. Does everyone watch it every year or just me?
Oh, I watch it a couple times a year.
Yeah, I have to, man. It's just
We used to do the like watch Christmas movies up until like midnight and then open presents or whatever. And it was always like that was on the list. And then Ernest Saves Christmas was one of them. And then my choice was always It's a Wonderful Life.
So it's like Batman was the top grosser in '89. Then Look Who's Talking. Who else?
Look
Honey,
Who's
I Shrunk the
Talking?
Kids.
Or Look Who's
Yeah,
Talking Too.
The first one, Look Who's Talking.
Okay.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh yeah, that was on the list.
Oh wow, Honey, I Shrunk
Driving
the
Miss
Kids,
Daisy,
yeah.
Lethal Weapon 2,
Oh yeah,
Parenthood.
Lethal Weapon 2.
Die Hard
Yeah,
2.
like it's almost like 10 movies came out a week back in the day. We were overwhelmed with films growing up.
And you know what's interesting is like, even though 1, 2, 3 are sequels, right?
Yeah.
Basically, and 1 is like a continuation of a superhero project or whatever type of thing. It was like the first movie that you got since Adam West or whatever.
Mhm.
Dead Poet Society was original. Uncle Buck was original. Roadhouse was pretty much original. How many movies can you say are original today?
Half of them.
Not enough.
Yeah.
No,
But how
there's
many?
What
probably
about
half
the
of them.
13 announced and never made movies? Do those count?
No. Die Hard and Gremlins are the only Christmas movies I watched during the holiday season, according to Ricardo. And then
Well, you should start watching Christmas Story.
Zero Toy Hunters is reminding us
Tango,
that
yeah.
Tango and Cash.
Tango and Cash. I remember that.
That was a
1989
good
was
one.
the 1989
Turner and was Tango and Cash and Turner and Hooch the same year?
maybe
Funny.
Turner and Hooch.
I remember Turner
right.
and Hooch. Yeah, we watched that.
89 was good for movies, man. I don't know. All right.
The 80s in general.
Turner and Hooch. Yeah, I like those movies. Okay, so anyways, this is the crowdfund update you didn't know you needed. So we're talking about this HasLab. You missed all the conversation last week, Rick. We really went to town on this HasLab. The follow-up news to the HasLab is the Ghostbusters team came out on a live stream and said the reason why that Tully is included is all the reasons they said, and the fact that they found additional money in the project, and they didn't want to be too greedy. So they thought they'd just throw the figure in.
Yeah, it looks like they're at 75% now.
Yep.
It was
it just past
$8.99 this morning, so it's probably just past that. So
it's 9,009.
Yeah, 23 days left, so that's about half the time. I wonder if they did left this. I don't know. That's no. How many people would have dropped or whatever?
At least 1,000 would have.
I think some would have.
At least 1,000 would have dropped.
You think so?
I did watch that video, Eric, that you pointed out where one of the YouTubers got an interview with Hasbro and talked about this, and they talked about all the head sculpts because that's what's new to this project. Besides the car, is all the 5 head sculpts or
accessories and
And then they talked about funding for it and cost money and stuff, and I'm like, I'm guarantee you all the people that worked on those work for Hasbro and are on a salary or an hourly wage. So they didn't pay extra to design or do any of that. The only extra money would have been like the steel molds, which haven't been made yet.
Because everything's
So-
3D printed.
Yeah, but I mean, because it's not funded, they haven't made steel molds for the car, or I'm assuming for the action figure heads, because it's not funded yet. So to me, that means they haven't spent.
I agree with
any
you.
Well,
Ray.
they talk about 2 phases of design. They do like a year of design up front just to get like some prototype, because I think across all HasLabs they learned that when they launch, they can't just not have some physical model.
But they're not. They didn't go out and hire extra people or or have them
Maybe
work on
not.
that on
They-
overtime. That was their regular
They
job.
might have
during it.
hired an outside source to sculpt, but I mean, I doubt it.
What's that have to
Companies
do?
like that have staff that are qualified and skilled.
Yeah, they talk.
paint the prototypes. They all work there.
Yeah, I mean they talked about on that one stream. I think it was on Toy Anxiety.
That's the one. Yeah.
I think they were talking about the one sculptor they have in house and how he got Rick Moranis perfectly for that. So
Yeah, they showed a bunch of reference
the
photos.
thing
with
is
Bill
like-
Murray, and it was very cool to see.
when they were doing their selfie series, all these heads are like basically 3D printed and painted from like a thing. So once they have a 3D sculpt, it's basically, I mean, they didn't mass produce that for me, right? They made
I think
one.
they did.
they subcontracted the heads. If you
I
remember.
saw a bunch of GI Joe Verns at my local Walmart.
No,
like,
no, you didn't.
Yeah, they are now.
for the selfie series, they subcontracted all those.
They all
signed that
They
waiver.
came from a factory in Mexico.
They actually 3D printed them at the convention.
No, they didn't.
For sure they did. There
No, they
was
didn't.
Well,
maybe
and
not
They scanned
yours,
you.
but
They did
the year
scan
that
you at
they
the
were-
convention with their app, which
the
the
day
same
they
app that you
revealed-
would do it at home.
yeah, the day they revealed that initially, the selfie series, they were 3D printing them at the convention, like to show this is how they're being produced and stuff. So
At
there
what
is-
convention are you speaking?
whichever convention it was revealed at, HasCon.
Vern
or
was there.
I was
SailCon
there.
or-
They were not 3D printing anything. The day that they announced them, they already had their 3D printed figures in a case.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
of
did
all the
not-
staff.
The only thing that they were doing at the convention
With
is you go
cameras.
back and watch my video. They had a special little booth with a whole bunch of the selfie lights set up, and then they used their phone. You had to log into your account on their phone, and they put it on a little holder, and then you just turn in front of their phone with all this beautiful lighting to get your scan, and then you still had to wait 3 months for that factory in Mexico to crank out your selfie series. But they had them already done for them when they arrived because they already had them glued on the things.
Yeah.
First day, they just put them out in cases. So all the employees had theirs done before the convention. They were not 3D printing anything at the convention.
All right, I'll pull up a video.
But in any case, I think one of the
We're not showing a video, Rick. So you can pull it up. You can send me the link later, but we're not going to be pulling it up here.
Ultimately one of the big takeaways from that stream was they essentially said that it would be too much of a shame to keep that sculpt from people, and they found money in the budget from not having the new figures carded. So they're just going to do what they did.
Oh, in a
with,
paper bag?
Yeah, they're going to just tissue paper wrap each of the figures.
You know what's interesting about that, Eric, to me, is if you go and watch that Bobby Vala's video chain, he does a whole thing where he goes around and talks about figures. And he talks about his time at Hasbro, and he talks about some Guardians of the Galaxy 2-pack that he was working on. And he wanted to include like some sort of, I think the Arrow or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how like everything is a squeeze. This is how much your product's going to cost us, right? And all the way through that design, they're like trying to figure out how to meet that minimum because they don't want to go over that amount. They can't go over that amount. So I don't know how they get to launching their campaign
without knowing the cost.
Right. And what I'm saying is like, so the thing is, they were always going to include him at 12,000, right? Like he was fit into the budget at 12,000 backers,
with
not at 12,000 backers in 1 or 2 weeks. At 12,000 backers total.
I know,
more or less.
So So that's saying, oh, we found money in the budget. No. What you decided to do was just get rid of the 2 weeks. You're lying at that point. Oh,
Well,
we found money to just go ahead and include this year. We were going to include it 12,000 backers. I mean, come on. Who are they fooling?
Yeah.
What? At the end of the day, it's still a good thing that they did. And I'm going to defend that every time.
This is 3D printed right here. All of this.
Yeah, I just think that them saying that is kind of BS because yes, he was calculated into the cost at 12,000 backers.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad. I don't think anyone's trying to say it's a bad thing that he's
it's not a bad thing.
It's great,
that wasn't like, to be fair, that wasn't the only reason they cited, right? That was like one of, I think, like 3 reasons they kind of said it would be too much of a shame to like
that.
The campaign,
that
right?
I 100% I get behind. Yeah, it's a shame to not have the figure if you're going to have your thing back. That should have been the only reason. And we magically found. Wait, who are you fooling? If you lowered it to 10,000 backers, like if they came out and said, and we're going to be able to lower the goal to 10,000 backers because we found money in the project to only meet 10,000.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was positioned that harshly. Yeah. I'm not sure if you watched the video. It sounds like you have, Rick. I'd just go back and watch that if you're curious. I don't think it was. I don't think they were.
I didn't watch it. I'm just taking everybody's words for it. But yeah, Jonathan saying that we found some extra money behind the couches because they saw the pushback of Robbie Reyes figure and fell into fun and wanted to avoid it.
I'm sure that factored into it. But if you haven't seen the video, don't take what you're hearing.
Okay. But when I hear like somebody say, "Oh, we found money," to me that means you can then lower the backer amount. You know what I mean? We found money, so we didn't have to get to 12K. We can get to 11K because we found the money. Not we can eliminate an arbitrary time.
No.
The same goal.
You make solid points. I would just say watch the video if you.
Okay. The lowering backer count, they've not done that yet, though, have they? For any project?
No.
Negative.
They've stuck with that.
But I don't think you need to worry about it. It's gonna, like a lot of things, it'll just back on the very last day.
Yeah. Hey, Dino is reminding everybody that if you're watching the show, just hit the like button. It'll help us push out the video. Don't do what he says because I do that on all his videos, and I notice that immediately my thumbs up goes away.
It goes away if you hit it the second time.
So what he really means is just hit it once or 3 times. Don't do what I do on his videos.
It has to be an odd number of times that you hit it.
Yeah.
So if this HasLab Ecto does back, when do you think it would ship? Like next?
They said September? They said Q4 2025. They said like essentially Christmas time.
Next September.
Yeah. Well, no. Like
by next September.
No. Like Christmas time.
200% tariffs on all things made overseas. Like, so how could?
But that's not how.
I'm just bringing that up because prices will change for stuff made overseas.
But you get charged when the campaign. Rick.
Yes.
You know how the HasLabs
pay for it until they produce it, though. But Hasbro's not paying for it tomorrow.
That's their problem at that point.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I wonder if things like this could change HasLabs or crowdfunding.
And that hasn't been passed yet. I mean, the guy is.
All right, hold on. First of all, let's thank Dino over at Geek Strong for the super chat for a G.I. Joe Vern head. What he really means is that everyone should throw in a super chat so that I can back the HasLab. So let's get it going, everybody.
Or revive selfie series.
Or if you want to throw in a super chat to help me pay off all the work I did on my vehicle. No, but I get what you're saying. Like, so Rick is saying that supposedly we could look forward to a 25% tax on everything that's being imported, especially if it's coming from China. But that's a political conversation. We'll have that conversation when we get there. We're not going to speculate that it's going to happen because half the things that I think get said during campaigns are just things to get said during a campaign. So we're not going to get into all of that stuff, and we're just going to see what happens.
Also, the selfie series, didn't they say, I'm not sure what brand, but they were going to reveal it for another like IP, like not Star Wars or G.I. Joe.
They when you got your selfie series, you could pick the body. It was a Star Wars, a G.I. Joe. You could have got it on a Ghostbuster
or Power Ranger
or a Marvel Legends. And I think that there were Power Rangers bodies also. I'm not
yeah,
sure.
I thought there was a new one.
It was Red Ranger, Pink Ranger.
So what I think, honestly, that they should do is every year, sometime around September, they should offer the selfie series again.
Oh, why not? Like, I don't think I lost
just
money
do
on
it for a short period of time and then just produce those figures, because I think there's a lot of new collectors coming in that would love to have a figure of themselves.
I think going back to that, I think if you watch some of their early promos, and I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here, but I think they had some partnership with some company that had that factory in Mexico that was printing all of the
it's
heads.
Form Labs, and they're not in Mexico.
Okay, well, it sounds. I'm pretty sure they did produce them in Mexico. I think I remember hearing something about that.
I just show you my FedEx shipping label and exactly which factory it came from.
Yeah. In any case, it was they subcontracted the production of the heads, so I'm sure there would be some challenges with reviving that partnership or doing it differently.
Well, in the second release, didn't they add beards and hairstyle?
Yeah, it was
and glasses and stuff like that.
It was too little, too late though to revive the novelty, I think.
Did you get it the first time or second time, Eric?
What?
All right, hold on. So
you got one, right? The first time?
Yeah, I got it. I got a couple of them. Yeah.
So I had ordered 2, but the second one didn't come out right, so it went back, and then they wouldn't reprint it. They said you had to do a complete new scan again because they were on the same program. Like, we delete your scan as soon as we print it. But as we all know, they're mass producing my action figure, so
that's why I said they're at the dollar store in Canada.
In Mexico,
sadly, it wasn't available to people in Canada, so they missed a market.
I just
want to point out UK either, but I
want to say something to Dino. So Dino, that $2 super chat didn't really work out. If you throw in another $5-10, maybe you'll be able to encourage other people to super chat.
They've got crates of Vern's selfie series in the Ross equivalent of Estonia.
They're using in Mexico. That factory is using everybody's scans, and now you have a whole line of
a whole line of bootlegs.
There's a whole line of Mexicanos commandos.
What they're actually doing is,
Vern.
Have you seen this? Have you seen the show called Poker Face?
Yeah.
So in one of the episodes, they make the 3D. The artist makes the 3D of Tuvok, the guy who played Tuvok's head or something like that, so that he can unlock the guy's cell phone. But it's because it's such a realistic. That's what they're really using these scans for. They got a bunch of heads. They are going to get your phone, and then they're going to be able to get all your identity and stuff like that.
Yeah, they made fake IDs, and all those people voted. All those fake Vern heads.
Okay, I'm going to put you on mute.
Well, yeah, right. He's cute too.
Gee whiz. All right, so this is the TV and movie news you didn't know you needed. So in TV news, which is the most important part of it, Yellowstone is coming back this week. I can see you guys are all excited for that. Silo is also coming back with season 2, and Cobra Kai is coming up to wrap up the finale. I think all on the same day.
Yeah, he's getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame as well.
Yeah,
Ralph Macchio.
So Silo and Cobra Kai are cool.
The Joker thing's been debunked by James Gunn. It's false and will never happen, he said.
Okay, well, anyways, the news was that there was a Joker series that might be coming out after Batman 2, after they kind of get the Joker out in Batman 2, and it was just an idea that supposedly Matt Reeves was throwing around because of the popularity of the Penguin.
That's tomorrow's the finale, right?
What? I'm not watching it. It's boring.
I don't know. I got bored. I stopped watching it.
I got bored after one episode as well.
I haven't watched it yet, but I'll watch it soon.
I just want to see the Batman.
So anyways, Macaulay Culkin has been reported as being in the new Prime Video series Fallout Season 2 as a recurring character.
Okay.
So, question on that: can you believe they're making a second season of a show that did very, very poorly? Kind of Acolyte or Ahsoka. They didn't make a second series of Acolyte based on maybe it wasn't very popular and didn't do well. But this Fallout thing, I heard, was one of the worst watched shows of the year.
Really?
I heard it was a good show.
I find that hard to believe, Rick, because it feels like everybody that I know watched it as soon as they could, because we were all talking about it, and everything that I read seemed like
past the first episode.
And everything I read seemed like everybody was into it. And then there was so much stuff online about like all the Fallout like kind of gear that you get with the video games was like skyrocketing on eBay and stuff like that. It had a pretty good following, and it was greenlit like 8 days after it was launched. And if you looked at the Amazon queue, it was like #1 for like a long period of time.
We also have Andor news. Andor's premiering April 22nd.
Yeah, something like that. That is you guys' long
Star Wars story now
to Rogue One. Get the France. Yeah, let's see. Okay. JT. Okay. All right, and then let's continue on with the movie news. Let's see what Jonathan had to say. Fallout did crazy numbers, Rick. Even the game got a massive.
All of you people have player
numbers.
Test it out sometimes.
See, it might be like where you get your news. Anyway, so here is the Star Wars news about the next trilogy. It's going to be written and produced by Simon Kinberg. And
next week they'll cancel it. They'll cancel it next week.
Well, not according to this article, but anyway, what I did was I went to his IMDb and pulled up all the stuff that he had written, and I got them listed here. And besides one scene in X-Men Days of Futures Past, which was in the kitchen when it was Quicksilver was running around.
How was Logan? Best movie.
Here's my take. This guy does not have a great track record. Okay, he had like he played some role in the production of Star Wars Rebels. Rebels was
he's
good.
listed on there. He's a writer.
Right. Well, he didn't.
He co-created it and wrote it.
Okay, so he had some role to play with on Rebels. Rebels ended up doing well, so I'll give him whatever credit is due for that. But everything else is a hot pile of garbage.
Have you seen Logan?
Well,
I'm just asking.
He wasn't the main creative on Logan.
He produced it and directed.
No. I don't care what he produced. This is what he has written. If he's writing this next trilogy, this is going to be what you're going to get. Nothing that you want to watch.
Right. Well, so here's the thing. He doesn't have a great track record. I would generally wish he'd stay clear of like big Star Wars stories, right? But if he is being tasked to do this, if it does end up magically manifesting itself into reality, I hope it turns out great. I'm just skeptical. Right?
Yeah,
like I think as a Star Wars fan, we all want great content. I hope it turns out great, but this is Lucasfilm, at least appearance-wise, from the outside looking in, it looks like it's a bit of a mess. And that's like you guys know how I feel about these things. I'll try and defend things till the death, but it's like it's getting exhausting even for someone like me, you know.
Yeah.
I will tell you this though, Eric. I did look at this IMDb of the stuff that he wrote, and I liked that TV series Invasion.
Me too. And
I
Mr.
thought that was actually a really well done show.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith was not bad. Sherlock Holmes is not a bad movie. Jumper was okay. I really liked it when I was younger.
I mainly look at what he did with the X-Men movies and then Fantastic Four.
The thing is, I am not a fan of like almost any of the X-Men movies. You know what I mean? Like this Days of Futures Past is the only one that I will, if I see them and it's like my only choices, will put on because I know I get to see that really cool kitchen scene with Quicksilver.
Sure.
That's it.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyways.
All right. We'll know more when something's officially kind of teased.
It's going to get canceled next week.
Because originally, like this Deadline magazine, they're like, yeah, it's going to be episodes 10, 11, and 12. And then everyone, secret people are like, no, it's definitely 100% not 10, 11, and 12. It's a new trilogy of stories. So
All
until
right.
we hear something, like we can't really.
So here's
have
what
an
I
opinion
well,
other than Eric saying, is he any good or not for the job?
yeah.
What if
Well,
Ryan
I
Johnson
can look at
directs
what the guy's done, and I can like
his
make a
written
gauge of
movies?
how well written it'll be. He won't have the ultimate decision, but here's where I think that this to me, this announcement could be the biggest plus, saying that he's in charge of the next 3 movies, right? Not like J.J. Abrams, then turning it over to Ryan Johnson, then taking it back, right? Because they're trying to save it. But you get one guy and he gets to power through the story, then his vision will carry through the story.
That's
important.
That
That's
is important.
positive. That's a good thing.
And you do have to look. It doesn't say he's carrying on the saga.
It says that he's
it's a
writing
new
and
one of the
producing
report.
A new saga. It says a new saga.
And until there's more information, like he's just being tasked with a trilogy.
So you have Deadline and Collider arguing with each other about a scoop they got from the same person. It's weird.
So here's what his story is going to be. So he's writing a political drama that's related to Star Wars, and it's going to center around this royal couple on this planet. And Jack Black's going to be the main character.
Exactly.
You know,
it'd be cool, like, because there's so many things on the pipeline, right? Like a dozen different Star Wars projects have been rumored and not officially canceled so far. But I mean, so Ryan Johnson was also supposed to get a trilogy that they announced, 8 years ago. What if Ryan Johnson directed this trilogy written by this
I don't think Ryan Johnson doesn't seem like the type of guy who would direct someone else's work.
No, he likes to write.
Point.
Yeah,
he's going to do his own thing.
Especially something written by this guy.
Oh, exactly, right? Like that's not going to happen, but we'll see. I mean, like hopefully he doesn't. I mean, can you imagine like he writes
Heir to the Empire.
I mean, he's obviously worked with who's the director, the guy from Sherlock Holmes?
Deadpool. He made the original Deadpools as well.
Sherlock Holmes movie. Madonna's ex or whatever. What?
Madonna's ex-husband?
Yeah, what's his name?
Oh, Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie, yeah. What if it's a Star Wars trilogy with him and Guy Ritchie? I mean, it's very stylistic.
Well,
that could actually look really cool, especially if there's lightsaber battle.
I'll never root against Star Wars. If this is going to happen, I want it to succeed. I'm just not.
Can you imagine the Jedi like doing the thing that Robert Downey Jr. does, where he's like showing the fight scene, and he's like, "This is how it's going to go."
Okay, I'm going to stab you here, and then I'm going to go around the corner and stab you there. Bender makes the point. Timothy Zahn would be nice to see him write a screenplay for any kind of Star Wars stuff, but he kind of has. Like everything Dave Filoni has made was stolen from people like Timothy Zahn and not really giving them credit or extra money because they're using Thrawn.
All right, so we're very critical that all of us.
Timothy Zahn got money for Thrawn.
You know what my first reaction though was to this news was people like J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio are just licking their lips already, waiting for Lucasfilm to can Simon Kinberg at the last minute and bring in the old team to do things slapdash at the last second, and we get another Rise of Skywalker.
All right, so
and I just want to say too, you guys might not agree with me, but when this guy, what's his name,
Simon,
the guy's, so he also changed his Twitter picture, and he made a post on Instagram about this, so it is kind of official. And as a director, writer, producer kind of person, you can't do stuff like that, and you wouldn't do stuff like that unless you've actually been given a paycheck. So he's same with Patty Jenkins and Taika Waititi, and they don't do this stuff for free and then later it gets canceled. They get paid, just like the guys who originally made Solo.
Nobody's contesting about.
No, but I mean that's why people say, "Oh, everything's get canceled and stuff." They've paid.
Oh, the Broom Boy. We need a trilogy on the Broom Kid.
That's right.
Hey, it could happen. We need to find
this guy to write something.
With the Force that had the broom. We need to do a whole series about him growing up, and we find out that he's really the long lost nephew of Luke, right?
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah. All right. Anyways,
Bryce Howard,
so,
too. She's
so
a
we're very
brilliant
critical. And next week in the movie news that you didn't know you needed, each one of the panelists will come to the show with their outline for their next trilogy of Star Wars.
I wrote it. It's called The Shadows of the Empire.
All right. Anyways, so let's see. This is my brother. He's saying that this should center around the Jedi whose skill with the lightsaber is surpassed by none other.
Agreed.
And he's not left-handed. Anyways,
Yeah,
this is the hot or not section. These are the toys.
Inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
Yeah, so Andor
You
officially
didn't know
retitled
you needed-
Andor, a Star Wars story.
All
The
right.
six-fingered man did.
All right, I wanted to point this out that Hasbro's looking for innovative women. They got a thing open till Monday, so if you know somebody who's very creative and has an idea for an outstanding like new toy or something like that, they can go over to their website and check it out. And let's see, let me find a link to this.
This is the first I've heard of this.
Yeah.
Like
So you got a couple
Hasbro
of days.
hasn't really been promoting this on their socials.
If
You have
you
to
know
be a
somebody,
woman, right?
that should be the link. Go over, for women. So the first prize is $10,000. You're going to go to the Hasbro World Headquarters in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, for a day at Hasbro, and then maybe a mentorship session with one of Hasbro's top women leaders. So that's actually a pretty cool little competition if you know somebody who's very creative and has an idea for the future of toys. Anyways, I thought that was kind of cool that they had that going on. Anyways, then they announced Warbird, the Dark Avengers version, which is basically a repaint of the non-Dark Avengers version. Which is kind of cool. If you weren't able to get that Target exclusive, then you can pick this one up, and it's kind of cool too. I like it. I don't see any need to get it though, so
It's sold out, isn't it?
yeah. John,
No,
was it
didn't get it. No,
on your list? No.
no.
Let's see. Let's see.
She's not main character enough for me to get.
Okay, if anyone with a Ross near them find the Black Series Duels Invader, I need two. Okay, I'll keep my eye out. I haven't seen them. JT is saying hello to Lord Bays. Darth Bays here.
You get fired before 5 p.m.
What?
It
Yeah.
says if you win a day at Hasbro, what are the odds they fire you before 5 p.m.?
Who cares? You
Well,
got
it
paid
depends on if you come with a good idea, you're out. Wouldn't make it in 5 minutes in the first
Just
meeting.
take the $10,000 and not show up.
Darth Vader hit Ross. Okay,
Yeah,
anyway,
there's some photos of Darth Vader hitting Ross. Yeah.
I think this is like interesting. The picture. I think this is probably a digital render, but I think that the way they have the feet rocked, there's no way that's standing up.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Anyways, McFarlane, we can always count on McFarlane for cranking out some figures. This is the. Is this the
statue, though?
It's a statue.
It's the statue? So. Oh no, the next one I think are the EQL things or whatever. So this is the Joker. It looks pretty cool for a statue, but I don't really want any statues.
I'm starting to see a lot of his Marvel statues now, because he's got those 3 different sizes of them.
Sure.
They're real. They're well done. The paint is phenomenal. Like, and I'm comparing it to like Black Series or McFarlane Batman figures. They're great detail. Like, I haven't seen that Hulk one yet, but the second I do, I know I'm going to grab it because it's massive.
Right. I just don't see myself getting one statue, but we'll see. We'll see. I never say never. Just like Sean Connery. These are the page punchers that were revealed, and I guess they're up for pre-order, right?
Yeah, these actually were quite popular yesterday. These are the 7-inch page punchers with the comic.
These are 7-inch figures, right?
Yeah, not the little baby ones.
Oh, okay. The thing I don't like about the Superman is the shadowing that they got on them.
Yeah, I don't
looks
like
weird.
that either.
I think to me it looks cool, like from one perspective, but because of the shadowing on the leg for Superman, I wonder if he was worried about the 3 other Kryptonians.
Well, he did just reveal the alternate version of this Superman, like 2 weeks ago. That's not cell shaded, so it's just utilizing the exact same mold and sculpt, and just repainting it so you can pack it with his comic book.
All right, so I was gonna
Do it, Darth Blaze. Do it.
Oh my gosh, you guys are bad. All right, of course, Todd has 3 different sizes of statues. I bought the WoW McFarlane statue at Ross for $3.99. NECA is the only company who has gotten cell shading right on action figures. And
they do pretty good.
The statues are tempting because they are really well done, but I don't want the static piece. I want an action figure. Yeah, I think the page punchers are actually really cool. I like the 7-inch ones. I really want to get the Christopher Reeve Superman, but I don't want the one with cell shading.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, but I want that comic book.
I have it already.
I think that what he's doing by having these toys with comics, I think is a good thing. Like hopefully it drives some kids or young collectors into comic books again, because it is a slowly dying industry, right? Like I'd like to see. So he's trying. Like that's where he got his start, right?
I'm imagining somebody's playing a video in the background.
It is not I.
With
not me.
Or somebody's talking. You can hear somebody in the background of somewhere.
We can.
John can hear it.
Yep.
Sounds like children. All right, so let's pause the show.
But hold on, I just muted you, Eric, because I wanted to see if it was coming from your.
I mean, my wife and daughter are upstairs, but I didn't think it was that loud.
Yeah, it's no big deal. Don't worry about it. If it was coming from Rick, though, we'd make a really big deal about it.
Yeah. Let me check my settings.
All right, we got the Clock King is a run fair, which is like, hey, you might get a chance to buy this figure if you sign up and maybe win an opportunity to get the Clock King.
Yeah, this run fair is kind of a silly thing.
Here's what I think about this figure. Could they not have made his head an actual watch
that you can wear?
No, that you would just sit on your figure on the shelf, so that when you came in your room to look at your collection,
oh, that worked. It actually worked. Yeah.
That'd be funny.
I mean, watches are so cheap now, right? It seems like that would almost be like a no-brainer to do that, because it basically is like a flat piece of plastic with like a peg on the back, it looks like.
Yeah.
And then is Clock King going to get a digital face is what I want to know.
No, I don't think he ever did.
LCD.
Yeah.
That they could afford, because I think that would be cheaper to produce than an actual wind-up mechanism watch, as opposed to
just you don't have to do a wind-up
PC board and an LED
with
light,
little battery or whatever, right? But yeah, okay. So, anyways, then we got this dragon from Legion's Con, which we were talking about. So everybody's been talking about in the chat. They're talking about $700, $800. Oh my gosh!
I think it's going to be $900.
I think it'll be less than $499.
All right, so that is one view of the dragon. Looks really cool. And what I thought I'd do is I just throw this up there. This is the size of it. So it's 28 inches from basically feet to top of wing when you got it upwards, right? Then the length from nose to tail when you got it out there is 54 inches. And then the flame effect is 16 inches. So theoretically, if you had this set up just like that, it would be 54, 64, 70 inches long.
I think the way you guys are doing your math, like that 54, that is from the start to the finish. It doesn't start in the middle.
Negative.
No, I do technical drawings for my employment.
Okay, hold on.
Hold
on, Rick. Wait.
I want to show from the nose to the tip of the tail, Rick.
Hold on. Wait. Rick, please hear this first, okay? Before you interrupt me.
I didn't interrupt anybody.
Yeah, you always do. Look at the height guide from the feet to the top of the wing. You see there's a little
that little line is?
Do you see that little notch down there? What I said was, let me finish before you interrupt me. See that little line? How it goes up to the top? That is 20 inches from there to there, not all the way down to the corner.
Correct.
See how there's not like a little notch, but there is a little notch, but there is a notch at the nose. It says 54 between those 2 points.
Correct.
Then between the other 2 points is 16. If it was going to be like the total length, you wouldn't have that 16.
Well, they're showing, because that's how big
they're showing you the 2 different lengths between the lines.
Correct.
Right. So 54 inches from the nose to the tail and 16 inches for the flame.
Yes.
which is exactly what I said. And then you tried to say that 54 inches was the entire line.
No, I was just trying to say it's not 6 feet. Like here's 54 inches. That fits right
What's
here.
54 plus 16?
I'm
What's
6 feet
hold on.
tall.
What's 54 inches plus 16 inches?
Oh no, here's 54 inches right here.
What's 54 inches plus 16 inches?
I don't know, dude. Get a calculator. All
60 inches. 6
There's
feet
no
tall
way.
is.
Sorry, I was looking at centimeters.
Yes, you were.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, 54 inches, man. I can't see that being even physically possible.
Thank you, everybody who could do math and for listening the first time I said it was 70 inches.
Yeah.
Everyone except for Rick, who was trying to read in centimeters.
Jonathan's saying it's technically 5.8 feet tall. Yeah. That's what I'm
Bigger than,
saying.
like, my bedroom.
Yeah. It's almost 6 feet long. Yeah. That's
All
what
right.
I'm
So
trying to say.
if you compare that to the Tiamat, which is only 16 inches tall from the top of the wing to the feet, 15 and a half inches. And then you got the length, which is 19 inches. That Tiamat is tiny compared to this dragon.
How much was that? $4.99 or something?
That was, like $300 or something like that.
I thought it was $3.99, but I don't know for sure.
I don't remember now. I mean, you might be right.
That is insane. That would be bigger than like the last 3 Had Labs combined.
Yeah.
Like end to end.
Too, the toy conversation you didn't know you needed. How many big items can you get? And would you even be able to display them? Because if you think about it, right? The Cell Barge was like a one-off, but you got that Razor Crest, right? You got this, the Ghostbuster. These vehicles are kind of all similar, but like if you look at this behind me, right? You see this takes up pretty much a whole kind of like shelving thing. This is the Vanguard.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you look at the Lion-O thing or whatever, the Thundercats thing, then you got the Transformers ones, you got the
Can you show this without the text on top?
No. And you got the Sentinel, you got the Giant Man, and now you're looking at this gigantic dragon.
So something's wrong here because it shows that dragon being half the size of the
that image is wrong because this is
or the measurement here of 54 inches is wrong.
No, because I got that from their website.
No, I know, but that picture is also from their website.
This is 24 inches, right? Behind me. So you're looking at 2 of these?
You're looking at 4 of them, dude. If it's
just to not even put the flame up.
Yeah.
So who could display this thing?
Which picture do you think is incorrect?
This one right here, because this is just some dude that put this all together for the internet. This is just somebody who cut and pasted.
I'm sure he has a calculator and stuff. Like,
no, I don't think that he did it all because
they're not to scale.
But it shows it's smaller than Snake Mountain.
You think Galactus is bigger than these?
Smaller than the Razor Crest.
Smaller than the Transformers back here is way bigger than Galactus.
They're not. That's not to scale, Rick. They're not to scale.
This photo is meant to be to scale.
You think that Cell Barge is that small?
No, because Unicron is gigantic. People put Unicron on their freaking coffee table, and it takes up the whole damn thing. That Unicron is not smaller than a freaking Sentinel.
That's what one of those
graphic
pictures is
just
wrong.
to show you that there were a lot of big pieces out there, and you're trying to make some argument. But I mean, all you got to do is look at the Cell Barge.
I did not create the photo. I shared it to the group so we could show it and compare it. I didn't realize it was a fake photo.
It was just something.
It's not fake. It's just
if it's not fake, then it's accurate.
No. It's not a fake picture. It's just illustrating all of these other like big.
Yeah, it's like
center items together. It's not putting them all to scale. Right.
Look, it's like a couple of weeks ago, I made that image of the 2 Sentinels together, and I drew lines to show like all the articulation points that the new one would have that the old one doesn't have, and I compared the ones that were like, based on what they said. That's not even accurate because they don't even have a finished model showing all the articulation points yet. But that's my best guess based on what they said. It's not a fake picture. It's just something I made. It's not an official picture, maybe is what you should have said.
I mean, but something like that, you can't even display on a coffee table. That's a dinner table.
No, not even.
Yeah,
Well,
you
who has
can't
6
display
feet
that.
dinner tables.
And then what would you put away if you got that thing?
Well, nothing, because I have no interest in getting a 6-foot dragon.
24.
Yeah, do you
Yeah,
think that-
I wouldn't put stuff away. I think what would happen is kind of what G-Force is saying. My amount of seating in the room would go away, or where
So
the
you-
television is would go away. You know
So
what
what
I
would you-
mean? Like,
How
so
tall
John,
is
is
your
that something that
Galacticus?
you're interested in
I would absolutely 100% love to have the dragon. I would,
for
but
$800?
I can't buy it. No, there's no
$900?
way I'm gonna buy
You'd have
it.
to get a third apartment, John.
Rick, where would you put it?
Dude, if it's 6 feet long, like how tall is your HasLab Sentinel or Galacticus or any of those things?
Like 30 inches?
Now, if you pull up that picture again, that's quite accurate to the 26-inch height of the dragon and the 30-inch of
No, it's not.
Galacticus. Well, I'm looking at it right now, and they're quite.
It's
Well, you
not the
have-
height that's the problem; it's the length, right?
Well, it doesn't. It's math.
I mean,
so-
the height will come into it
show-
because, like, if
they
you're
show
trying
the
to
height of
display it
Galacticus.
in some cabinet, right?
and they
like,
show the
that's
height
a-
of the dragon to the tip of the wing, and that's within 2 or 3 inches, which
Yeah,
is
but
accurate
I mean, there's
according to their
two-
drawing.
But this thing is like kind of standing more straight up than this picture too, because this one is kind of
Angled.
leaned out a little bit, right, where the head is forward to show that it's like firing the flame. So they're in different posed positions. So
That's-
theoretically, yeah, you
know,
could
but
like you
It's-
can you can
it-
get that guy to sit maybe on the hind legs. Maybe if the tail curls, you curl it around the feet, right?
This is a bad.
Ankle
This
a
is a
little hard up, move the neck back.
It doesn't look
Into a
that big
high
in all the
position.
photos and videos that people took yesterday.
This is objectively a bad image, though, to convey
It's like bigger than
dimensions.
3 of us.
Right? It should
Right.
be. It should be more like the Tiamat one that you have.
So the
Yeah.
thing is with here is when you look at it, you don't necessarily see that neck can move into a more upward position either.
it
You
doesn't.
know what I mean? Because obviously this is a model,
Yeah,
so it's not going to have
we
the
won't know.
articulation.
We won't
probably
really
of-
know everything till it's like closer to being released. Anyways,
Right.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Do you have the
The
other
point
picture
is-
with the figures in front of it?
These are the pictures that I have, Rick.
Okay, so there's a picture with shows their figures in front of it, which are mostly like 7-inch, and then it shows like other Marvel Legends and a couple other ones. Yeah, it's pretty massive, but it doesn't. Just that 70 inches is blowing me away. Like,
Yeah, Jonathan saying he passed on the 3 foot by 3 foot because it was too big on the Rattler. I did basically the same thing. There was no way I couldn't fit a Rattler in here, no matter how much I wanted that thing. It was just too big. Let's see. Unicron is only 3 feet tall. Only.
Yeah, only.
Only.
Yeah.
So
it could not fit in the door of my apartment building. Doors are a standard, like what, 48 inches?
it will fit. You just got to turn it sideways.
That is insane, man.
Let's see. Exactly, Eric. Tall items are easy to display. Crazy wide items are much harder. Let's see. Yeah, so with the action figures, they just stand up and down, and I can take out one of the shelves here, right? Theoretically, and I could put my Galactus.
Right.
See,
Sentinel.
that's
You have
realistically,
more,
I
you have
think
more flexibility with shelving
Yeah,
solutions
yeah.
with the height. Yeah. The
What would
depth
really
and the
happen,
width
I think, is
another
that
story.
if you've got a couple, like if you've got 3 Detolfs or 4, like I've got 6 in a row, it would realistically, that stuff on top of the Detolfs would get taken down and the dragon would go up there because he's not going to be thicker than a Detolf. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Look,
don't know, man.
D. Griff is saying, look, if you can afford this dragon and space is an issue, then you can afford a new house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If it is 70 inches, it's not going to get made. There's not 100 people in the world that could afford a $1,300 dragon toy. I can't.
He thinks
It would
it's going to
cost
be
$1 million in steel molds. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah.
It's cool as hell looking, though.
I think
Yeah,
they
but I mean,
have to
like-
do it. I think it has to be less than $1,000. They can't. If it goes over 1,000, yeah, you're right. No one's going to buy it. So that's why I'm thinking it's going to be around $900. It's going to be $899.99. That's
Well,
what
even if they made it like $100, I don't see people buying it because it won't fit in their home.
Oh,
like,
if it was
or their
$100
van,
bucks,
or
Well, if it
their
was
truck.
$100,
if
it's
it
going
was
to be paper
$100,
mache.
I'd be buying it now.
Yeah, that's right.
Look,
They'll be
if this thing is like $200 or $300, right? As big as it is, it's worth getting and just putting in a box in the garage, and then like pulling out every once in a while when you want to take pictures or have like a really cool setup or something for some reason. You know,
I'm blown
flying
away,
down
man.
on your Christmas tree or something. I have no idea what you would do with
Yeah.
it. But Jonathan's saying that they're going to make 5 of them.
That sounds about accurate. We'll 3D print and hand paint them all.
Oh my gosh!
Because like
I
we
just-
know they
I
have
just-
a fan base, but they don't have like a G.I. Joe or Star Wars size fan base like that could make 15,000 of them. And
That's why it
sell
has
them.
to be expensive.
It'd have to be like a car expensive.
Yeah, I just don't see this being under 500. I just
I'm
See, I just think
$800,000 in steel molds. I'm predicting.
the reason I think it's got to be more expensive is because
Aluminum
it's a
molds.
Mythic Legions. They
They
Yeah.
do
do
6
aluminum
inch,
molds.
they do
because-
6-inch figures that are 50 to 60, sometimes $100. So if a 6-inch figure can be upwards of that, then this dragon's not going to be $300 or $400. No way.
No, it's going to be several thousand, I think.
listen. D. Griff is saying if it's got wings, you can hang it up. Yeah, you know what? If that flame was like
Break
the
your
light,
ceiling.
if that flame was the light and those wings folded down and it spun, then theoretically it could be a ceiling fan.
A lamp, yeah. Ceiling lamp, yeah.
Unless it's a big blow mold, soft like that Super 7 one where it's just a soft rubber and it's all hollow inside, then that can be made cheaply. But it's meant to have some articulation.
Look, I passed on that Tiamat because of the size. I saw that in person. I just don't see, besides the display at a convention or something like that, or putting in like your toy store or something, to draw people in. I don't. I mean,
It's 3 times the size of that, Vern. 3 times. And
that's what I'm
dragon
saying, Rick. Well,
is
now you know how
huge.
big it is.
No, I'm blown.
Yeah.
But I've seen videos of this. I watched a video live
Rick,
of the guy standing there,
Rick,
and it wasn't bigger than his house.
Rick, but it only measures 54.
No, but it fit on the screen with him in it. Like he wasn't back this far. He was
Yes, he
right
was.
here, and
Oh
the
my
dragon
God,
was
hold
there.
on. No, he was. They were back there, dude.
And it was right behind the guys when they did their live stream. It was right there, and it fit on the screen.
Okay. All right. Hold on.
It's very impressive.
All right.
I can't believe they make a toy that big. Yeah, like that guy is 3 feet tall. If that dragon is 6 feet,
That is, yeah. It's the perspective because those guys are
and that
standing.
guy's arm is 6 feet long.
No, look at how from his waist to the top of his hat. That's half his body. That's 3 feet, and he's probably back by the tail because he's messing around with the display stuff.
Yeah, look at the arm right there.
Yeah, that is big.
His arm is only what,
Oh,
20
yeah.
inches?
Oh.
But still, wow, man. Welcome to toys in 2024.
I think it's excessive.
And not a crowdfund, as far as we know, right?
All right. Yeah, that's the thing. It's going to be a timed release with no minimum. Big Bad Toy Store is going to have like 1,000 of them on display.
don't
But
think-
here's the other problem
They
too,
won't
right?
make
Like
1,000.
this is part of this toy conversation, right? Like one thing is it's a Mythic Legion. So even if they put a pre-order up today, you're not going to see this thing for like 3 years.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, like that bear that we showed off like a year ago, you're still not going to get that bear anytime soon, probably. They're so slow at getting stuff out, unless it's like, and I don't know how they just come up with stuff that's available at the convention that they've never shown before. It's just, to me, I just feel like they just sidetracked everything that they put up for pre-order last year just to make some exciting new figures to have in hand.
Yeah.
To stay relevant. But I mean, like, what happened to like, hey, you took a bunch of pre-orders a year ago, shouldn't you be making those?
You're comparing to Hasbro. Hasbro's at 13 months for toys now.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about regular action figures. I mean, they came out with a whole line of figures, and those are supposedly they took pre-orders and they're waiting and waiting and waiting. And now all of a sudden they're at a convention with figures they've never shown off before in hand, produced. Shouldn't they have produced the ones that they already pre-sold?
Well, those ones that are in hand produced are hand painted 3D print prototypes.
No, the ones that they're selling, the ones that they're selling, they have
one figure that they're selling,
right? Yeah, but
convention exclusive figure.
Well, I think that they should have been like hard at work at the ones that they took everybody's money for.
Well, it does take years. Like General Giant just announced that Boba Fett removable helmet. I designed that more than 2.5 years ago. Like that's a long time ago, man.
I don't know. Batman Beyond, I missed it out yesterday. Dave's Dimension saying hi. Yeah, I just think that like man, they should, that's what they should have had at the convention. They should have said, hey, and this wave is finally available. The one that we took your money a year ago for. They're just so far behind. They're just not making me happy. That's why I think you're going to order this thing. And when are you going to get it? It looks cool if you can afford it, if a price comes out, but it's going to be years if they can't even produce their regular figures.
On a related note, sorry, Vern.
That's okay.
I just saw on Twitter, Yakface had posted an in-hand picture of the Ghost packaging. It is 2 times the width of one of these. They have an E-wing stacked on top of the Ghost box. So
it looks almost the same too.
That box is like this big.
Wow. That's cool. Did you order that one, Eric?
2 of them.
You got 2 of the Ghost? Wow.
So you can open up figures, right?
Correct.
Yeah, it's pretty massive.
On Twitter?
Yeah.
Yakface, Instagram usually.
Yeah, I couldn't get that one.
I didn't see the picture on Twitter. That's why I'm asking. I mean, on Instagram.
Hold on, I'll put it in the chat.
I see the picture of the Ghost. Oh, I see what you're saying. Box. It's like it's at the very top of the picture.
Yep. Yeah. So it's like 2 times the width of the E-wing box.
So they got the E-wing box. You know what though? It's misleading to me. Well, let's see. Where's? Oh yeah, I see.
And the armor is placed set beside it.
And then the armor is placed. So let me see your E-wing again.
Yep.
Okay, I'm looking at where I was looking at where this like kind of edge curves on the E-wing, just to see like how close it was to the edge of that box. Because interesting.
It looks good. I've seen some reviews on it. Just people need to weather it so it looks a little better.
What, the E-wing or the Ghost?
Yeah, the new one. Like it's
the E-wing.
You know, Hasbro doesn't like to weather lots of their vehicles, and
I kind of like it clean.
My Ranger Crest is quite weathered,
especially for the E-wing, because this represents like the age of the New Republic, where things are supposed to be
on a photo. Like
things are supposed to be cleaner and not like worn in, right?
Yeah. All right, Prophet, I'm going to be waiting. I'm waiting for my bear to show up. I just feel like it's been so long, and they really took a long time with those stock ones. I think I'm still bothered by that.
By what?
When I ordered the in-stock stuff and they took like 3 months to ship me the stuff that was from their
you'll always be bitter.
Man, and then I watched everybody else get them like 2 months earlier, and then mine didn't ship out for like 3 months. All right. So anyways, this is Mythic Legions 2, right? This is some sort of the Cowardly Lion.
Yeah, they had a wave of 6 or 7 figures with lions and tigers and snakes. Oh my.
Yeah. This guy is Tiger?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But he has a human head. You can
Oh, really? I didn't grab that picture.
That's what's great about these. Like that lion head you can put on this wolf body, and you know, vice versa, and swap their paws and their armor and their soft goods. They're all swappable with the different figures of the same scale, because they got giants, they got, you know, human size, they got dwarf size. Same with the skeletons. The skeletons, they got human size, dwarf size, but you can mix match all the parts, which makes them a little, you know, more, I don't know.
I have a couple of Mythic Legion figures that they finally, those ones that took 3 months, and
playability, I guess.
Yeah, and when I got them, I just was like, nah, I just put them in the corner somewhere.
Some of the best made toys I've ever held in my hand, like ever.
Hyena.
This guy looks actually really cool.
He does. This looks really cool looking.
So I don't know.
Those knees look scary for
Yeah,
balancing.
dog-like.
Yeah, for balancing. Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is some
she
sort of
comes
a little mini
Dragon.
dragon.
Yeah.
Nobody here buys Mythic Legions.
I don't. They look really cool, but it's not a.
There's
thing
a
I've been
lot that
interested in.
I would love to have. I mean, they look fantastic. I mean, when I saw them at Joe Fest, I was like, oh my god, these figures are great. I love the alien line, like bits and buttons down here.
Cosmic Legions are pretty cool. They're just expensive because they don't make 30,000 of each of these. They cost a little more. It's a more of a boutique company, unlike Hasbro or Mattel. There's a lot less produced. And
now this is like that Masters of the Universe snake person, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but 3 times the price.
But this one dude he's not a snake, he's a genie, I guess.
Yeah.
So how will he balance coming out of a little lamp?
You can see what's cool about these is you can swap out that snake part and put human legs or wolf legs or
so did that
bear
Masters of
paws.
the Universe snake lady. She had regular legs.
Yeah. Well, these guys sculpted all of those Masters of the Universe toys, right? Like that's where they came from.
I don't know.
They used to sculpt for Hasbro and Mattel and
you know what they did do though? These guys worked with the Icon Heroes to do those Zujitsu fighters.
Those tiger ninjas and stuff.
Yeah, the Zujitsu fighters. So I think that they worked with them for the sculpting and stuff like that. So
I like to give props to these guys because they put a little effort into taking these photos, and when they reveal here's our new toys, they'll show them at their convention or wherever their thing is, their YouTube video. But then they'll post these fantastic taken photos of the products, which is kind of like what G.I. Joe tends to do. But it's just weird that Star Wars, their biggest brand, they don't go through this effort. Spend one day taking photos with your in-house.
Well, if you had listened to, hold on, wait,
take photos.
Okay. If you had listened to John early on when we were doing the show like 6-7 months ago, and he pulled up all the research that he did on the license and all that kind of stuff, you would know that they've been devaluing the Star Wars brand so they can then renew the license at a much cheaper rate. Then we wouldn't be having this conversation. All right.
Yes, exactly.
Moving on. This is the Captain America Brave New World popcorn bucket that's coming out probably when the movie comes out. And I've seen a lot of people on the web making fun of it, but it is kind of.
Where's the hole for the popcorn?
You got to reach down his throat and pull the popcorn out.
Isn't it really?
No, who knows? It'll probably just
I don't know. It's going to be behind his head, probably.
You want to watch a new Thunderbolts trailer?
No.
All right.
Is there
we already know they defied the laws of physics.
D23. Okay.
There's a Thunderbolts trailer right now.
All right.
I'll have to watch
Anyways,
that.
I think that's it for that. I did want to show off. This is one of the Mythic Legions figures that I haven't opened. I just think it looks super cool. I do want to take it out one day. Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice one. Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Like I was so interested in these to begin with. I had all those Mego knights. You guys know what I'm talking about? Mego had the whole line of knights. It was King Arthur, Sir Lancelot.
Oh, back in the day.
Yeah, back in the 70s. I had all those knights, or some of them. I thought I had all of them, but I love the little knights and their armor and stuff like that. So when I saw these, I was like, yeah, I'm going to grab that. But because it took so long, it's kind of like, it makes me.
That's a resealable package, right? You don't hurt anything by opening it.
Oh, that's cool.
And it still will hold. It'll be worth more now than what you paid for it, even if you open it up and play with it.
Probably. But I do also want to follow up with this Fresh Monkey Fiction thing because John picked this up for me over at Joe Fest. And after I did the review on it, the body doesn't stay together, basically, is what happens. Like that little peg in there does not stay together with the body. And then right here on the jacket, it started to rip right here just from the 5 minutes that I had been doing the review and stuff like that. And I can't get it to snap closed anymore, that type of stuff. I did contact them. They ended up issuing me a refund, which was kind of cool. And then, surprise, surprise, they actually just sent me a new one.
Oh, wow.
So that was kind of cool. So they did both. They gave me a refund, and then they just shipped me another one.
Cool.
So,
Wow.
that's kind of cool. I just wanted, well, there you go. Just wanted to follow up. So they stood by their figure, I thought. So that's a pretty good story to tell, I guess.
You know what would probably, just going back to the Mythic Legions for a minute, and I'm not aware of all the different laws that prevent this nowadays, but if those toys came out like in the 80s or early 90s, there would be some badass cartoon that would accompany that product line.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
Those would be selling so much better, I'd have to imagine. That's what would probably drive more sales for those, like, to be an IP that
Probably
people
Eric.
are interested in. Yeah.
You know what's actually also interesting, Eric, is like you're right about the 80s, because in the 80s there were all these like mech and robot like cartoons and stuff like that. And now they just don't have those anime cartoons and stuff. It's just like a really weird.
Well, to counter that, these Mythic Legion toys are not.
John wasn't listening.
You probably even have to be 18 to buy them. Like, they're meant for adults.
No, I know, but you know what I'm saying. Like those designs are too cool to just be like obscure-ish toys, right? For like toy collectors, right? Like those toys look like they're cool enough characters that could like have a whole story around them that is more exposed.
Oh, they do. Every single one of those.
No, but
every
like,
toy they've ever made has a story. Like,
no,
that's
you know what I mean. Like
right?
having some like TV show or movie or even a comic book to accompany.
I think the digital comic is what they currently are working on, because they do have stories. Like even in the back of Vern's figure, there's 1,000 words that probably describe where that guy was born and who his dad was and which faction he's from, and you know who he fights against on what planet or what realm.
But you know what you know what I'm getting.
We're Star Wars nerds.
Probably like
look at that.
Probably 150 words. There's not 1,000.
You think we're Star Wars nerds? Those Legion guys, like if we pronounce something wrong or we're like, oh, we're banished from the realm, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. They really there's a few independent, I guess you could call them independent toy companies, but there's a few toy companies that make these things that they should have a comic book at least, if not a cartoon or something that they could produce.
Yeah, like remember.
But I think there are laws. But I think there are laws regulating that, right?
And mech cartoons.
Oh, like what cartoons meant to sell toys, kids?
Hey, Rick, tell us what their process is. If you say something wrong, you're banned from them. Is that what you just said?
No, like we as Star Wars nerds, like
all in favor of adopting that.
If Vern pronounces Han Solo wrong, like all the Star Wars nerds get at him. The Mythic Legion fandom are much like they know stuff that we've never heard of. And what's cool about it is they pay no license for it. It's their own IP that they created. So what they can do, much like Valaverse says he's going to do, is make a movie where people pay you the licensing property to make a movie based on your toy line or a cartoon based on your toy line. But I don't see that coming. I think they're happy.
I think that what happened was, when Star Wars came out, and it wasn't really like a model, right? To like say, hey, here we're going to come out with the toy, because obviously the toys came out a year later. It was kind of untested. I think that sort of the toys being flying off the shelves kind of sent a message saying like, hey, we got to tie these things together. So I think a lot of times now what they're doing is they're actually tying a toy line to like cartoons. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't think it's worked in every instance. So like when they
or movies,
some toy lines just don't take off because the cartoon's not big, or the cartoon hits an audience that isn't interested in that toy level or whatever. Like they make it the toy too advanced for the audience that actually watches it. So you got to hit the right like point.
Yeah. But I have to imagine if some big studio saw like the Mythic Legions action figures and was like, "Oh, those are cool. I bet we can write something."
Yeah, that's what they
interesting
want. Interesting, right?
and like get like you would send some property like that into the mainstream. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think you would
John
make it
mentioned-
for 4-year-old kids.
No,
the
but like
Cosmic
teenagers,
Legions.
it would be like PG-13 plus, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
John mentioned the space ones they made. They got called Cosmic Legions. They got some aliens and humans. That would be a property I think that they could shop to, Netflix or different filmmakers that they can make some, because sci-fi is pretty popular, but so is like
all the Legions,
Conan
right.
and barbarian kind of thing is still kind of popular too, right?
Yeah, so the thing is like not every toy line translates into like a show, and not every show translates into a toy line. So you have to have like what you're saying with the Cosmic Legions, you have to have like the right property, because is anybody really looking for like a medieval, Mythic Legions like storyline? But the Cosmic Legions is like space, right? So like you might hit a wider audience with that. I agree,
And with the Mythic Legions, like what we're looking at, the dragons and lions and tigers and all those fantasy things, their base fans were originally the kids that grew up playing with He-Man. That's, I would say, not 100%, but most of those fans, that's where they came from. They came from that not Thundar, but He-Man and Barbarian and Conan. Like that's
I
their
would
thing
imagine that
love.
like because I think those Mego Knights came out, but you had all those like movies and stories like Beastmaster or
good point. Beastmaster is
stuff like that. Like they probably adult collectors who were like maybe like G.I. Joe collectors or Star Wars collectors, those movies were really like big with them. But I have a feeling like a lot of your Mythic Legions collectors are D&D players.
They're So like Halloween, they probably don't dress up as the Lone Ranger. They dress up as, one of those guys.
I don't think it matters like so much as like, are barbarians popular right now or something like that? Like, or is the market flooded with things? If you make a good show, it doesn't matter what era or what it's in. If it's a good show, people will gravitate towards it, and then they're going to want the toys.
Yeah.
They're going to go, oh wait, there are toys made of this. Oh my god, yeah, I got to have a couple.
But you also got to remember that there are all these like fairs. Like, did you watch that the Hawkeye TV show where he had to go get the costume back from the guys that were all at the little fair? Where we had our house up in the hills in Potrero County Park. Every year they used to do it like a 3-day kind of like fair, and then you had vendors come in. They would sell the swords and beads and the outfits and stuff like that, and people would set up their tents and stuff like that, and there'd be like sword fighting and jousting competitions or whatever. It was a really cool like medieval type fair, and I think you have a huge group of people that do these fairs and stuff like that cosplay and stuff like that. And these are really, I think, like if they're collectors, any of them, they're after these, you know what I mean? Just because that's what they like to do.
Yeah, and the guys I know that buy the Mythic Legions, they're just as much happy with the Cosmic Legions and those knights like that you have, Vern, where it's not a tiger or a lion. It's it's a man in a black suit, but they like them all. Like they don't shun one of them, like, because they all, again, you can put the Cosmic Legion heads on the knights' bodies and vice versa, and all the horses and headless horsemen and Santa Clauses and all the fun stuff they make as well. It's I don't know. I wish they were more affordable.
Like the one that I want is the gray alien, because I like stuff, and I wish that they did the other 5 that are supposedly visiting our planet. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I think I wish they were more affordable too. I wish they were more readily accessible.
Yeah, like the only retail you're going to see them at is like your local comic store,
and those are ones
we
at the comic book store.
Bits and Buttons has a lot. Bits and Buttons has all the Cosmic Legions, and they have a lot of Mythic Legions.
Can I ask you a question, John? Are they retail or they mark them up?
They're like $45, so that's
okay.
retail, right?
So in my mind, what they did was they put in their own personal orders from their store, knowing that they could have them in stock and people would buy them from them.
Yeah, they sell wholesale.
Yeah,
to
I have
small
no
retailers.
idea how they get them. Yeah, I don't know. But they've got maybe like 20 of each figure when I go in there. You know what I mean? So it's not like they only have one of each figure. They've got a whole like a couple cases.
So then it's wholesale, right?
Yeah, they do well with that, but it's all the smaller comic toy stores. It's not Walmart and GameStop and Target.
Exactly.
Well, they couldn't because they have so much stuff written here.
Just
and
English,
have to
right?
put it in 17 different languages to go into Walmart would be kind of like hard.
Well, that's for Canada. Like in the US, you guys don't have to have French on your packaging. But so they don't have to make multiple packaging for Canada and for Europe. That's why you guys see the multi-language on your packaging in the States, is so they don't got to make it twice and 3 times. It saves a couple of bucks.
Anyways,
it's silly. I apologize for all of you for the trilingual languages and all toys now.
Yeah. Okay. Rick, you got anything coming up on your channel?
Not really. No. I have to.
John, man, you got anything coming up on your channel?
I posted a mail video yesterday, and later today I'll probably post opening this minifigure Dungeons and Dragons thing to see what they're like.
Cool.
And let's see, the game channel got a post today.
Nice. And then what about the cooking channel?
I have 5 cooking videos done. So 5 videos filmed. They're not all fully edited together.
Okay.
But
what about the
very close? As soon as all 5 are done, that channel will go live.
Okay, and the super awesome UFO hunter channel?
The super awesome science. I don't know if I'll ever get that one going.
What about the super awesome ghost hunter channel?
I've never started a ghost hunting channel.
How about the super awesome
Bigfoot chase?
I'm just trying to think of
Bigfoot channel. Yeah,
I saw today Salacious started like 32 more channels.
He's doing the same.
Like one for gaming on Monday and one for gaming on Tuesday and one for.
Yep.
All right.
But I don't have any videos coming up, but I do have a sale on my action figure posters.
Okay,
nice.
cool.
Check them out.
All right.
Thank you.
And so Eric's going to open that E-Wing and post his first video?
Yep. Oh, and I could do that too because I'm debating whether or not to open that E-Wing.
All right.
The big problem I have.
There's no reason
the reason behind not opening it is I don't know where to put it because it's open.
Yeah.
I put it underneath your big dragon.
I probably won't open it until I get some new shelving, but that probably won't happen until Thanksgiving.
Bender,
because I've got all the TIE fighters. I've got those cube displays, the cube things.
Yeah.
And my TV's on it. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 12 cubes that are laying this direction. So it's 2 stacks of 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got a cube shelf going vertically next to the TV. And every single one of those cubes is full of all TIE fighters that came out through the years. That's my TIE fighter display. And next to the TV, I've got the X-Wings from the vintage collection that came out. But it's kind of like, it would be nice if the E-Wing could fit next to those X-Wings, but that means
they would have to shoot each other down.
Yeah, an X-Wing has to go somewhere else. So it's kind
all right. So G-Force is
vehicle though, Eric.
got the discount gauntlet run. Bender, what happened to the cooking single dude channel? That is what John's talking about, the super awesome cooking show. He finally is going to get up his videos on how to make top ramen, how to heat up a microwave TV dinner, how to bake toast, a frozen pizza,
and how to pour a bowl of cereal,
and how to boil water.
Yes.
Anyways, I just want to say thanks to everybody in the chat for joining us this week on the Toy Duo team, where we're talking about action figure reveals and different stuff that's going on. And as we head on out, you can take a look at John's mess. That TV is gone. That's where the dragon is going. When he gets
it's actually, if you remember from before, there's actually half as many boxes now.
Nice.
The living room is clearer than it's been in a year.
Awesome.
I can actually walk all the way around the coffee table now.
Nice. Progress.
Yes, exactly.
And if you
So
guys are
thank
still
you to
watching,
everybody who bought stuff.
if you guys are still watching, please hit the thumbs up button on the way out. And if you have time, leave a comment. Tell us what you'd like to see and how, if there's anything that we could do different on the show to make things a little bit more enjoyable. And just let us know, leave some comments and give us some tips and clues of features that you'd like to see in future episodes. Anyways, everybody, we really appreciate it and have a great weekend.
Bye. Stay awesome, everybody.
I feel the need for
Toys, manly toys.